Hello everyone, my name is Himanshu Sharma, and in this video we will create a basic setup of authorization server and resource server using Spring Boot. So let's get started. I will be referring this link during this video. So first let's head to the Spring Initializer website and we are going to create the authorization server. So we are on the website. And here you say Maven Java define as per your preference. So Spring auth server, this will be our authorization server. We are using Java 17 jar, and the only dependency we need is authorization server. That's it. Go ahead, generate the project. Alright, so I have opened the project in IntelliJ, and here you can see the only dependency we have is the authorization server. So we don't need to make any code changes in this. Okay, let it be as is, and we need to make changes in the application properties. And what changes we need is we will refer our website, this one. Okay, and I will provide you the link in the comments, and here we need to copy these properties. So let's copy it and paste it over here, and you can see in this one we need to focus on this part, client secret. This is our password. So this password is encoded with bcrypt encoder, and the actual value is secret. Okay, so if you want to change this one, you can change it, but let's keep it with secret and let's see how it will behave. So I just added these settings. Other than this, I will add one more, Spring enable. This is just for the colors, that's it, nothing else. And let's run the application. No code change, nothing, just the configurations added in the application properties. So here you can see our application is started with port 8080. So let's head to the Postman and see how it behaves. So first of all, we need this URL. Okay, so let's take a step back and let me show you what we are doing. So if we get back to the website over here, in this link, what they are trying to do is they will first of all generate a token with this URL. Okay, they are using this HTTP client, but I'm using Postman, so I transform this accordingly. So in this case, this is their URL, auth2 token. Okay, and these are our parameters till here, and then finally this block is the authorization. So accordingly we form the request here. So in Postman, the URL will be our localhost 8080 auth2 token. Then this part got added by params. So here we are specifying param grant type, and the value is client credentials, and the scope we are providing user read. And if we look at the configurations like this one, so here also we specify the same thing, and these are the ones only we are using. The grant type is client credentials and the scopes are user.read. So we can use with user.write also, but we are currently using user.read. Alright, so this is all is needed, and one more thing is authorization. So by default we are going with the basic auth. So even if you go to over here, the authentication method, client authentication method is client secret basic. So we are going with the basic authorization. So in the Postman authorization, we will select basic auth, and here we will provide the username and password. So the username will be admin client and password will be secret. So that is what is defined over here currently, secret, and the ID is your username, admin client. Okay, so let's run this application. Let's send the request, and here I am getting the access token, right? and every time you send it you will get a different token. So if you see over here it's like EYJRE IEWZ. If I send it again, here I'm getting a different one ending with over here 38J. Yeah, see, the values are changing every time. Now what we have to do is we will use this token, we'll copy it, okay, and then we are going to use another endpoint. So if we get back to that link again, this is what they are doing. Here we are getting a token, okay, and then we are using the introspect endpoint of our authorization server to extract the information based on this token, right? So for this, this is the URL at localhost 8080 auth to introspect, and then this is your query parameter, and then again this is the authorization block. So in Postman it will look like this. So you don't need to focus this, let me remove this for a time being. So this is the endpoint, localhost 8080 auth to introspect. For authorization we are going to say basic auth again, and then admin client and secret, and then params we are going to specify token and the token which we have copied from the previous response. So we send it, and here I am getting true admin client. So even if, let's say if I change this token, if I try to send it something else, see, it's an invalid token, so it will mark as false. Even if it's a valid token, but if it got expired, then also you will get active as false. Now how that expiry is decided, that is decided by default it is set as 5 minutes, but you can configure it. And how you can do that, that is again you can refer this link, and here if I scroll down, this one, just need to copy this line, okay, and get to the authorization server, and we can paste it over here. So here what it is doing, it will time out the token after 30 seconds. So let's restart the server. Alright, so application is started. Let's head to the Postman. Here first we are going to generate the token, right? So we will send the token generation request, which is auth to token, this endpoint. We send it, we get the token. Now I will copy this token, okay, and paste it to the introspect endpoint over here, right? So I will change this value with the new token, send it. Now I'm getting true, okay, because 30-second timer is not yet completed. Once 30 seconds completed, I will get active as false. So let's try, let's send it again, and there we go. So during our discussion we already spent 30 seconds, so active is now coming as false. So let's change it and let's keep it for a bit longer. So let's say 300 seconds for now, which amounts to 5 minutes, okay. And then coming on to the secret part. So how we are getting this one? So this secret is basically this password, in our case, which is the value secret, is encoded with actually bcrypt encoder. How you can generate a new password for this one is, you can try using the Spring Boot CLI, or you can use this one. There is what was that encoder available. You can look for bcrypt, yeah, this one. So you can use this one, bcrypt password encoder, right? So let me show you one thing. So if I say implements command line runner, okay, and let me implement this method. So what I will do is I will say, okay, bcrypt encoder dot new bcrypt encoder encoder, and then we say encode dot encode, right? And let's say we pass it as secret, right? So let's put some kind of a marker over here, send it. And now let's rerun our application. And oh wait, sorry, my bad. We can in fact encode it like this. Alright, so let's restart the application now. And yeah, this is how you can get that information, right? This is one way. Another way is we can remove this. Another way is, the only thing is here here you need to write the code to get it. Another option is, if we just remove it, and what we are going to do is we will use the command line approach of using Spring Boot CLI. So you can just go ahead and search for Spring Boot CLI. So it's nothing much you have to do. You just need to search for Spring Boot CLI. You will get a link like this one. Okay, here they are specifying like how to install the CLI. Basically you just need that particular Spring. So you can download this zip and extract it in any of your favorite directory. So like in my case, I have put it in the root. So I go to C drive and I have put it here. So if I show you, this is how it contains, right? And what we need is, we need to go to bin. All right, and now this is what we are looking for. So now what we are going to do is, let me clear it out and say Spring encode password, right? And here we are say secret. See, this is the information we need, right? So you can paste it over there. So let's change our secret. So let's change it to new let's say new secret password. Okay, and send it, right? So here we are getting this value. I copy it, and what I will do is I will put it in the configuration over here. So we see like this. So now if I restart the application, all right, application is started, and if we hit over here to get the token, right, it will not work. It will say invalid client because now the password is changed. So we provide new what we specified is new secret password, right? We send it, and now we are getting the token. Again we need this because for introspection also we are providing the authorization. So here again, even if we just paste the token and did not correct this one, so it will not work. So here again we need to say new secret password. We send it, and that's it, it's working, right? So this is the part of authorization server. Now let's create resource server. So for that, head to the Spring initializer website. You can close this one, and again this is as per your preference. Spring resource, I will type like res server. Okay, it's going to be Maven 17, and here we are going to need two dependencies. One is web and another one is resource server or to resource server. These are the two dependencies we need. Okay, so now go ahead and generate the project and open it in your favorite IDE. Alright, I have opened the project in IntelliJ. So let's see our POM XML ones. So we have web and we have resource server. First, let's create a endpoint, and we are going to create a package controller, and we say okay, new Java class controller, right? This is going to be REST controller, and we say public string hello, and it's going to return hello, right? And then we say get mapping and say hello. So now this will return hello, but what we are looking for is we want this server to interact with our authorization server, and we need to make sure that, okay, since it is authorization is interacting with authorization server, it should be getting the extracted information which we were expecting in the introspect one over here, right? So let's target this one. This is actually the subject. So what we are going to do is we will add authenticated principal, all right, and we say authenticated principal dot get sub. Oh wait, no, not the authenticated one, sorry, my bad. It's going to be like this, okay, and this is going to be an authenticated authentication principal, all right, and this is going to be a JWT, and then this will become our JWT token. So it should contain the information, right? So we should expect a subject over here. All right, so now what we are expecting is when we hit this endpoint, it should greet with the subject name of the user, which it is going to extract from the token which we are going to provide to this endpoint. Okay, now postman will hit this server, right? So there should be one more linkage between this server and the authorization server, and for that what we are going to do is we will add a configuration. So here we need a configuration, and the most important one is this one. It gives colors and string output and enable always, yeah. And here this one is security, spring security or auth to resource server, right? And then jwt.issuer URI, and this URI is actually your authorization server. And make sure to not put this in front of it, just leave it as is. And finally, since now we are going to have two applications running, so we will change the port to a different one of this one, okay? All right, so that's all. This is the configuration we need so that it can interact with the authorization server, nothing else. Now what we did, we just created an endpoint over here, nothing. So let's start the resource server and first see whether it is even starting or not, and it is started. All right, so let's head to the postman and first hit this endpoint and see what will happen. So for us the endpoint will be localhost hello. So what I will do is I will revert it, nothing. So this is the default postman you will get, no key, no param, no authorization, nothing, okay? I will just make a request hello and see what will happen. What I'm getting, 401, right? Now I need to access this endpoint. How I can do it? First I will go to the authorization server, okay? I will make a request to authorization server to please give me a token. I will send, and I have provided the authorization server, okay, these are my credentials. I'm sending it, I'm getting the token. Now I copy this token and I will go to the endpoint which I am going to hit 8181, right? And here I will select the bearer token. I will delete the old one. I will put it new one and I just send it. And here we are getting the response. So now what happened? How it get this admin client, right? I pass this token and how I get it. So if you remember earlier, what we are doing is we are making this call also introspect. That is for demonstration purpose to see how authorization server is working. When authorization server will get a request containing a valid token and you are hitting the introspect endpoint, it will provide you the response which contains the information related to that token. In this case, what happened is that introspect thing was done by our application, our resource server. So we don't need to do this step in this case. This was taken up by the resource server. Okay, so now let's see what will happen. Let's solidify this thing that whenever we are making this request, the resource server is reaching to the authorization server. Okay, so what I will do is, first let me make a request one more time to get a fresh token. Alright, I will copy this. Okay, and now what I will do is I will stop the authorization server. Okay, our server is stopped. Now I head to this postman, and here let me delete the old token, let me add the new one, and now I send the request. Okay, okay, now the server is down. I guess this is because that this can be because of the time we have set, it's not expired, so resource server is maintaining that token after first request. Alright, yeah, so we can test that out. So what I will do is I will keep it 300 only, and alright, so let me restart the authorization server. Okay, alright, so authorization server is started and then resource server is also running. Okay, so now I go to the authorization server and I send it. I'm getting a token of MDD5 somewhere over here. Let's see if it is, yeah, it is changing. So now I copied this one, I paste it over here. Oh, and one more thing, I will remove this ID from here if that is the issue. And now what I am going to do is, now I will stop the authorization server. Alright, so authorization server is stopped. Okay, and now I hit the endpoint, and yes, it fails. Yes, because see what happened in the resource server. What it is saying is attempting to decode the JWT, right, the token which we provide. Why it get that error? So if we scroll down, it's trying to reach our authorization server, and now it got the this connection refused, right? And so with just a single line of configuration in the resource server and no other code change apart from just adding our endpoint, and this is we did just for the sake of demonstration that it is extracting the information correctly. We have our resource server ready and interacting with the authorization server. Alright, so now let's revisit one last time. So let's run this application. So what I will do is I will set it back to secret. change the password to secret again. So let's head over here, and this time we say Spring encode password, and let's change it to secret. Alright, copy this one. Alright, and paste it over here. That's it, done. We keep the TTL to 300 seconds. You can reduce it or increase it as per your need. And we just start the authorization server. No changes required in the resource server. Let it keep running. Okay, so authorization server is started. Let's head to the postman. First request of making a token. So how will it look like? If I go to parameter, let me hide these. This is the endpoint we are hitting. These are the two parameters we are providing. These values we have configured in the application properties file of authorization server. In case of authorization, we are using basic auth, that also we have mentioned in the application properties. The password we just updated to secret, and admin client again is specified in the application properties, and now we send it. We are getting a new token. We copy it, we check the introspect endpoint also. Here again, let me hide the parameter. This is the endpoint, and this is the parameter we are passing, token, and the new token we are getting. In authorization, we are again saying basic auth, admin client, and the password is secret. We revert it to this one. Send it. It is working. If the password is expired or that timeout occurred, we will get active as false. That's it, no other information. Okay, then going to the endpoint, here no parameters, nothing. This is our endpoint, and we use the authorization, which is bearer token, because we are going to pass the token. We send it, and we are getting the response back. The response contains the extracted value of subject, which is this one. Alright, let's head to the code. For authorization server, no code change, nothing. We just included the dependency of auth to authorization server. In application properties, these are the properties we specified, and we refer this link for our demonstration. Okay, and it contains all the properties. Okay, this one we added, which is optional. Then we see how we can change this value using the Spring Boot CLI, or you can use the bcrypt encoder. Okay, for Spring Boot CLI, the command is this one, spring encode password secret. And then we head to the resource server. In resource server, the code change we made is this one, and this is the maximum code we write in this video, creating a controller. Okay, and here we are using the JWT token, and that we are extracting the subject information, which we are displaying in the response. In the application properties file, we are specifying the endpoint where resource server can reach out to the authorization server to get the information about the provided JWT token. We changed the port because we are running two different applications. So resource server is running on 8181 and authorization server is running on 8080. That's all in this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions or feedback, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you and have a nice day.